So Donald Trump's team released an ad that just absolutely torches Joe Biden and the Democrats and their Me Too and Time's Up hypocrisy when it comes to Tara Reade. Take a look.
Welcome, Hillary. It's great to have you here.
I am thrilled to be part of your campaign, to not only endorse you, but to help highlight a lot of the issues that are at stake,
A former U.S. Senate employee has come forward alleging former Vice President Joe Biden sexually assaulted her.
His hands were on me and underneath my clothes.
You have a right to be believed. We're with you.
Do we value women? Do we believe women?
Women should be believed.
We believe women.
I'm very disappointed that there are those who continue to not believe women who come forward. It is not easy, but they should be believed.
She is putting herself out there, knowing that they're going to try and excoriate her. And she has the courage to come forward. She has nothing to gain. So what does she have to gain?
I stand with survivors.
The woman should be given the benefit of the doubt.
These white men, old, by the way, are not protecting women.
Showed the kind of compassion and caring that we need from our president, and which Joe Biden has been exemplifying throughout his entire life.
Look, I want to thank everybody. I want to thank Hillary for joining us in this conversation today.
Trump's team does not mess around. I said it before and I'll say it again. When it comes to playing the game of politics, I think Republicans, generally speaking, they're just superior to the Democrats. I mean, the Democrats, well, the Republicans, don't get it twisted. Like, the Republicans in Washington, D.C., super corrupt. Super corrupt. I disagree with them on basically everything. But they know how to play politics. And the Democrats, they're also corrupt. And I think their corruption makes it so that they're terrible at playing politics with the right. But when it comes to crushing their own base, Democrats all of a sudden morph into amazing, tacticians that have strong lines of argument. Like, they fought against Bernie Sanders way harder than they've ever fought against any Republican in my lifetime. But this is a good example of, like, just how devastating the right can be against Democrats. And, I mean, that's a powerful ad, man. Now, you could say, I think it's a fair point to say, who knows how well this will work, because everybody in the country knows, oh, really? You're going to highlight the, the allegation against Biden here? Well, Trump's got a million allegations against him. So it's certainly the case that they're also hypocrites. Like, the Republicans are also hypocrites for highlighting it because, dude, don't throw stones if you live in a glass house, son. Like, what are you doing here? You know that there's plenty to come right back at you on this same topic. But that never stopped them before. That never stopped Republicans before, like the hypocrisy angle of it. But really, overall, it's interesting because the Republicans, they never, pretended to be holier than thou. You know what I mean? Whereas the Democrats, you saw in that compilation there, all the time, believe women! Yes, believe women. Me Too, Time's Up, so brave. They're so brave. And then the second it's, politically inconvenient for them, flip. Just instantly flip. So, I think the thing that's so absurd and gets under my skin so much is that they're sanctimonious hypocrites. Like, they were so smug with it and so arrogant with it. Like, us, we have standards unlike the other people because we're good people and they're bad people. And it's like, wow, look at how quickly you were unmasked. It took one election cycle for you to be totally unmasked. So it was never about, a principled stance against the powerful men who exploit women. It was never about that, because we all know if you had the exact same allegation with the exact same amount of evidence against any Republican candidate or against Bernie, these same people would be like, "Oh, you must step down in shame, good sir. Shame, shame." So it's just they're such sanctimonious hypocrites that they're so insufferable. Now, but I will say this. Even though that's a devastating ad, again, I don't know how well it'll land, because I do really sense in the zeitgeist that, because I've experienced this talking to people who are somewhat apolitical and don't really get too involved in this stuff, but whenever you bring up the Joe Biden thing, it's an instant reaction that everybody's like, yeah, but Trump's got like 1,000 more allegations against him, so like, why are we even talking about this? Now, you could say that's a silly response, you could say that that's not the correct response, that's all fair, but that is the response that people are having. So if Trump is insistent on fighting, this election on these like social grounds, I don't think that works too well. And I don't think it works too well if the Democrats want to have the fight on the social issues grounds. I think that, whoever focuses on the economic stuff and portrays themselves as the outsider trying to fix the system, that's really the strategy that works better. In other words, Trump would need to run on the, make America great again thing, not keep America great and not this goofy social issues stuff. That's how he would have to run. He'd have to run a similar campaign to 2016 of like, hey, I'm the outsider and it's the old establishment that's, preventing me from making all the changes to help you. So you got to vote for me again so I can defeat this establishment. It makes it harder for Trump to do that now with the pandemic, but I think that's still the path for him. Whereas with Biden, just hide him. Just hide him. Want to know why? Because it worked in the primary. You hit him. He didn't say Dickie McGee's acts. People were voting based off of their perception of who Joe Biden is and what Joe Biden is and their memories of him from back in 2012 or whatever. And that's why Biden did well. It's because people thought, oh, we need somebody who's electable. Crazy Bernie's not electable. Joe is electable. And so they voted for him not knowing he could barely speak. So, you got to keep hiding him, I think, because that's his best chance of winning. And, the sad reality is he really should try hard to also pick up some youth votes because he's struggling massively in that area. But who knows if he even needs the youth vote because, again, he crushed in the primary without it. So we might have like an all old person voting election, which is really something to see. You're going to have you could conceivably have a very low turnout among young people. But either way, I think this ad from the Republicans is devastating. But I don't know how effective it'll be. And I don't know how much time they want to spend on the social issues grounds. So, we'll see how effective it is. But one thing's for sure, regardless on what issue we're talking about, Trump's team and the Republicans are willing to go for the jugular in a way that you just never see from the Democrats, unless it's corporate Democrats going after the left.